and how much should California's private utility companies pay when their equipment starts a catastrophic wildfire? We're talking about SoCal Edison, PG&E, and San Diego Gas and Electric. This question is at the center of a last-minute proposal Governor Gavin Newsom is pitching to state lawmakers in the final weeks of California's lawmaking session. As electricity rates rise and wildfires continue, the governor wants to limit who and how much these companies pay using California's wildfire liability fund. Both utility shareholders and ratepayers have been contributing to that fund. But it's expected to run out of money soon once SoCal Edison finishes paying victims for their role in the Eaton fire. With 2 weeks out from the lawmaking deadline, the exact details of what the governor is trying to do are not clear. He has yet to put any of this in writing. Newsom's push is sparking backlash from victims, the insurance industry, and questions from both of the people who are running to replace him. If your electric company starts a wildfire, how much of the bill should they foot? Governor Gavin Newsom is sparking fresh debate over the issue.
Status quo doesn't work. It's not good for victims and timely payments.
Newsom is pushing lawmakers to limit how much utility companies pay out when they're to blame for a catastrophic wildfire. For the last 7 years, California has had a wildfire fund that the companies can tap into to pay for damages, not just to victims, but also lawyers, hedge funds, and insurance companies. The governor wants to tighten up who gets what from that fund.
We need to lower those costs and stabilize the cost increases. And so that's all in the stew here.
But there's just weeks left in California's legislative session, and the details are unclear. One specific detail we do know: he wants to prevent insurance companies from suing the utilities to get their money back. The insurance industry warns the cost of insurance will climb amid the state's insurance crisis.
It's simple math at this point. If you shift billions of dollars that is currently being borne by utility shareholders and shift that onto insurers and our policyholders, you're looking at a 10 to 20% rate impact across the state. And our estimates are that it would be far worse for people who live in high wildfire risk areas.
It is derelict not to act on this now. And so, to his credit, he's stepping up.
The California Building Industry Association is on board with the proposal, citing a recent study the Newsom administration released this spring. CBIA's president and CEO worked in insurance and in former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger's administration.
We don't want our utilities to go bankrupt, but most importantly, we also don't want consumers to go bankrupt. The current system bankrupts more consumers than any utility company or any insurance company. Because if it takes me 5 years to get my claim paid and move back to my home, I'm destitute.
If they want to get all that profit, well, they should be responsible for their own crimes and misconduct and negligence when they burn down our communities.
Joy Chen is part of a big group of wildfire victims impacted by the catastrophic fires in Los Angeles. She said the governor's office briefed her on the proposal. She said this would limit pain and suffering related payments while also redefining who is a wildfire victim, excluding those dealing with smoke damage. So, to be clear, you don't think this is about victims at all?
This is through and through a bailout for utilities on the backs of victims. In fact, his bailout proposal, would put California last among all 50 states in how we restitute victims of utility-caused wildfires. So it would be harder to recover. This would cripple survivors of all utility-caused wildfires in California going forward.
Governor Gavin Newsom has 4 months left in office, so I checked in with both candidates running for governor, Democrat Javier Becerra and Republican Steve Hilton, about this big decision on wildfire liability.
Are Democrats looping you into this negotiation over wildfire liability when a utility company is blamed or liable? I mean, are you worried about some of this action that could come down?
Actually, I wouldn't say looping me in. I'm somewhat aware of it, but I don't have the details. That obviously they're working with the governor on this. But I do know it's an important matter. We're going to have more wildfires.
It's an unnecessary bailout. This is what's going on right now. They're loading up the utilities with all these costs to try and push forward the climate posturing. I call it climate posturing because it doesn't actually help reduce global temperatures at all. So they're spending all this money and then they don't have enough money for the wildfires.
PG&E, SDG&E, and SoCal Edison are not commenting on Governor Gavin Newsom's proposed